Yo, what's up, Jers? What's up, Huck? How's it going, everybody out there? I am Mike, aka Veteran Crypto, and this is Jeff, aka the Blockchain Report. How's it going, brother?
It's going good, man. Happy Taco Tuesday to everyone out there who celebrates.
Yeah, who doesn't celebrate tacos?
Oh
So,
man.
tonight we're going to be casually talking about Makina Finance. So this is one that you found. So how did you run across this one?
Actually, this was a member from our community in the Discord, Iron Rhino. Thank you so much for recommending this. Said you might want to see this in the Discord, and I appreciate all of our community members who are just sharing all kinds of hot projects and airdrop stuff, DeFi stuff. So it we can't cover everything up, so or find everything. So we greatly appreciate all the eyes and ears that are out there in the space sharing stuff with us. So I checked this out yesterday, and two of the three vaults are filled up already. So I'm glad we're getting to this today. So
No, absolutely. No, I'm actually kind of glad you brought that up. I mean, it's actually been really cool to watch, the community kind of evolve. Like there in the Discord, where at first it was just everybody asking us, what do I do? What do I do now? What do I do now? What do I do now? And it's actually evolved to a point to where a lot of them are bringing the alpha. A lot of them are going out and they're finding great pools, and they're finding airdrops. And I mean, shit, that $900 airdrop that I got from my Arrow lock, that was one of the community
syndicate.
members. Yeah, that was one of the community members that came in and was just like, hey, freaking, if you go and you vote, manually vote, with your lock, and you vote for this, syndicate pool, then, you get a free airdrop. And, they didn't know how much, but I voted for it, and freaking lo and behold, it ended up being worth like $900.
Shit. Hell yeah. That's some.
So yeah, no, I mean, just for being part of our own community, I made $900. So, um, yeah, it's great. It's great to get in there and chat with everybody and just shoot the shit. But also I'm probably learning as much as I'm teaching. So
That's great. That's awesome. That's what we want to see, man. And definitely appreciate all of the people out there working hard and sharing the alpha.
well, I'm gonna go and grab me a glass of wine for our casual Tuesday show. If you
Yeah.
wanna you wanna jump into the socials while I do that.
Yeah, I'll hit these socials up. Oh, somebody clapping outside. Someone's excited. They're like, "Yeah, give me the airdrop alpha."
Right, that's right.
No, we appreciate everyone out there joining us on this wonderful Tuesday. A little bit later than Mondays, but here at DeFi Crypto and Airdrops on YouTube. And if you're on Twitter, follow us. Jump in the chat here on YouTube. Um, and yeah, get the engagement up for us. But every Monday and Tuesday, me and Mike go live. Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And on here, you can catch our brother channels, Discover Crypto, Blockchain Basement, DeFi Income with Jake Call, and David's DeFi University, and me at the Blockchain Report. Oh, and BitLab Academy right here. And Mike also goes live Wednesday and Friday with the DeFi Masterclass with David and Jake at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. And they have their platforms, Metrics Finance and the DeFi University. The links are all down in the description below. And it looks like Mike froze there. You taking a long drink of water there. um, and also, Money Talks is returning next Thursday or the week after. That's at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. And that has Taylor and Jeff, Texas Jeff, registered financial advisor and law expert. So great alpha. Also check out DeFi Academy that Mike has. Takes you from beginner to expert. And also our Discord. All the links and stuff are down below. We got our Discord where all the alpha is being shared. So we appreciate all the stuff, all the people in there. Slowly sifting through some of the projects that everyone's been sharing, and we greatly appreciate it. And it's free. So check it out. Also, the Discover Investments group Discord is free, and they have a paid section to where you can get access to the team's portfolio, trading chats, trading alerts, all the great alpha. And you can catch us on Twitter at the_only_DCA. You can catch Mike at Veteran4Crypto and me at the BCR142. And we're streaming on pump.fun. Pump it up. We did have to create a token in order to stream, and all of the tokens have been released. The only tokens that we own is the ones that we bought with like $50 each. So we're just going to hold it. And we do earn these creator rewards, but it's only from when you buy and sell. And if you just want to, I don't care if you hold the token or just buy and sell, but just wanted to be transparent with everyone. It does give people creator rewards just from the buying and selling, almost like a liquidity pool. But
Yeah.
we only own the tokens that we bought, and everything else is right here in the liquidity pool, 86%. So
Yeah.
we own
So,
less than 1%.
yeah, I think I own like 0.5% or something like that.
Yeah, I think you have the dev hat right here.
Yeah,
0.5.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's me.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you want to buy and sell, it would help us out. And we're going to do something for the community with the rewards at some point. But I think it's very small amounts that we have from each stream. But yeah, just Pump.Fun's interesting little platform that we're slowly exploring. And I think it's a lot better than YouTube. You get better creator rewards from this than you do on YouTube. But
Oh, absolutely. I mean, shit. I mean, we just barely got on there, and we've already earned more than we ever earned on YouTube, where we
yeah, we don't monetize on
supposedly,
there.
well, we supposedly have almost 50,000 subscribers. So
Yeah.
I think we have 8 on Pump.Fun, and we've made more money there. It's been
Oh,
pretty sad.
26 members. Okay. 26 members, but
Oh, we got
that's in the
26
chat.
members now.
It
Oh,
says
damn.
DCA chat 26 members. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
Oh, I might have to log in. I'll log in up here.
Well, anyway,
But there we
all
go.
right. Let's jump into this. Enough of the self promoting.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Oh, like go ahead and kick us off. Let's see.
So
Let's see where you
yeah,
take us first.
this Makina Finance. Shout out to Iron Rhino for sharing this out. And I guess this is a DeFi execution engine, and they have their pre-launch machines or their vaults that just launched, and you can earn right now 12 to 14% on DUSD from their dialectic USD pool, dialectic ETH, and their Bitcoin pools. And these are the target APYs, and they fluctuate depending on if the cap in the vault is hit, and if they increase the vault size. They can increase the vault size for more people later on, but I think right now they're keeping it capped. And this is a 4-week phase where you can earn base yield tickets for the MAC ICO and points that convert to their token as an airdrop. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so you earn points from the amount you deposit, and they have funding, 3 million in funding that closed in June of this year from Cyberfund, Interop, and Steakhouse Financial, and some others. I'm not really familiar with these investment firms, but I mean, they got some funding. I haven't found much on the team yet, so maybe
That is for me, like right off the bat, something that is cause for concern for me. Is
mhm.
I went to the website, and I don't know if you were able to find something, but there is no like nowhere you can click to go to any kind of documentation
Yeah, I was looking at
that.
they have a Substack. I need to change my location real quick. I need to
So yeah, I haven't been able to. Oh, did I lose you?
Am I back? Am I
There we
back?
go. Yeah.
Oh, I had to fly to Thailand real quick. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it
You
was
can't
me.
you can't use this in the US. So I needed to fly somewhere real quick. Same apartment, same everything, so no
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
question.
yeah. So yeah, that
Team.
was that was kind of what initially what kind of bugged me is, when I started kind of wanting to do some initial digging into this, so I at least kind of knew a little bit about it before we kicked off. There's nowhere to go for documentation. There's nowhere
Mm.
that even hints at the team. There is really not a whole lot of info.
Yeah, and let me
So I clicked on the
check there.
Substack.
Yeah, I was just about to do that. Did you see anything from there?
It has some articles. So it has principles of Makina, inside Makina, a technical architecture overview. Makina with Wormhole. So it looks like they use Wormhole, building cross chain tokenized strategies. Makina pre launch is almost here. And if you're reading this, you're early. That was on August 29th. Access to the best. Why retail should be all eyes on Makina. Well, you know what? Let's fucking start with that.
Okay. I found something.
What do you got?
Actually, dialectic. Oh no. Oh shit. Okay, here we go. Dialectic group right here. So dialectic is a machine that solves ciphers to unlock exceptional value for our members. But here in the Substack, I checked the notes, and Ryan Zurer, the founder and CEO of Dialectic, is on the Defiant podcast and discusses all things DeFi. Why will Dialectic be the first operators of machines on Makina? We align on core must haves if you're going to compete in the DeFi space. So, this is the CEO and founder. All right,
Okay.
Ryan Zurer. So, we found one.
All right. All right. This
Damn,
is
you have
like
to dig for this shit, man.
this is like an Easter egg hunt.
Right? And see, everyone out there, this is the kind of digging you got to do sometimes. You got to fucking click and look, and because if you don't go to the notes, we wouldn't have found this. So,
No, it's so yeah, no, and those of you that aren't familiar, some of the major things we look for is we look at the team, we look at the tokenomics, we look at the use case, kind of what it is that they're trying to address. So as we're going through this, you'll see kind of a a similarity. Each time you watch one of these shows with me and Jeff, you're going to see that we're always looking at the same things. And the reason we decided to do it like this is we don't just want to spoon feed you alpha and spoon feed you info. We want to teach you how you can do this on your own. So if you find a really cool project, like and it a good example of what this does is like we were talking about before in our Discord. We have people that have been watching us for a while. They go out there and they run across these projects and they do these steps that we're doing right now. They use the tools that we use. The AI like Miles and whatnot, and do the deep dives themselves, and then they come to us in the Discord and they're like, hey, this is a cool new project. I looked into it. This is what I found out about the team. This is what I found out about the tokenomics. This is I'm excited about it. I bought some. I entered a pool over here, and they're bringing us the alpha. And so that is what we're trying to do with our channel. We don't want you to be dependent on us for alpha. We want to teach you how to be the alpha.
yes, yes. Yeah, you
So
teach a man to fish. But
No, exactly. We don't want to freaking just feed you a fish. We want to teach you to fish. So, what I found out about dialectic is it says most people in crypto, never get to invest alongside the pros. The best strategies, the sharpest risk management, the fastest execution. It's usually locked behind a minimum investment that most can't reach, and that's that stupid shit where you got to be what is it, a
accredited
certified
investor.
accredited investor. It's such bullshit.
Yeah.
So right now, if you want professional grade DeFi strategies, you have two options. You can try to copy what the pros do, which means you're weeks behind and missing the alpha, or you can invest in their funds directly, which often requires minimum investment, like we just talked about. The result is that retail investors are stuck with self executed yield farming setups while institutions get access to sophisticated strategies that actually work. It's the same old story from traditional finance, and why most of us came into crypto is to try to escape from that, being the liquidity for the institutions, hoping that we can just get some scraps. um, so meet Dialectic. Dialectic has been running DeFi strategies since DeFi summer. They've been around for 5 years, deploying capital before most protocols even had tokens. They're not newcomers trying to figure things out. Their track record speaks for itself. They run three different funds that produce yield on stablecoins, ETH and BTC. At any given time, they're managing 50 to 70 positions across their funds. This year alone, they deployed over 300 positions in DeFi. These aren't set and forget strategies. They're actively managed, consistently optimized, and built for the fast moving world of DeFi. How they actually work. Dialectic built their own tooling to track everything happening on chain. They scout across all the different EVM chains, keeping tabs on positions, measuring returns, and calculating risk independently. This gives them a complete view of every investable opportunity in DeFi. From there, they narrow it down to opportunities that fit their risk profile and optimize for the best risk-adjusted returns. It's not a it's not about chasing the highest yields, it's about finding the best opportunities while managing downside risk. Their risk management is what sets them apart. They do uh, they do deep due diligence on every protocol they touch. Smart contract risk, which is one of the major issues with DeFi, when it comes to cons,
Mm-hmm.
because malicious smart contracts can do a lot of crazy shit. Governance risk, economic mechanism risk. They size positions based on their diversification policy. High risk positions get small allocations. Low risk positions get bigger ones. Just that's the same thing that people always talk about with like meme coins. You should be using very small because they're high risk. You should be using very small portions of your portfolio for things like that. But the real edge is their monitoring and response systems. They have real time monitoring on all positions through partners like Hypernative. If something goes wrong, they can trigger automated withdrawals and exit positions in the next block. Speed matters in DeFi, and they've built systems to move faster than almost anyone else. And I guess, like you said, they chose Makina. So Makina has been leveraging the minds of Dialectic from the beginning as a crucial design partner. They gave feedback and advice on architecture and design, ensuring that Makina infrastructure can meet their requirements at scale. The result is a platform that meets the standard of the most sophisticated on chain operators and established institutions while staying fully non custodial. So that's one of the things that those of you that watch us know that I always look for is non-custodial, platforms, which means that you get to keep custody of your assets. Traditional DeFi vaults require custom smart contract adapters for each protocol. That creates overhead and delays. By the time you can deploy capital, the opportunity is often gone. So let me see if I can summarize some of this. Um, so basically, what it looks like, let's see. So yeah, it's non-custodial. We went over risk management. It uses AI agents. Makina execution engine empowers AI agents to execute complex DeFi strategies. So it's leveraging that, and then
Mm-hmm.
that atomic execution. I'm starting to hear that a lot. Novel mechanism for atomic execution, enabling instant unwind of positions in cases of emergency or increased risk. This would be interesting for looping. So like those looping
Oh.
positions where you lend, borrow, and then take that borrow and lend it,
Mm-hmm.
borrow against that, lend it, borrow,
If the
because
market tanks and it gets close to your liquidation, and then it's like, oh shit, let me rebalance. Oh.
well, not just that. The big thing about needing to unwind is when you first get in, when you lend, say that you're lending at 7%, and then you're borrowing at 5%. So you're plus two because
Mm-hmm.
you're earning more than you're losing on the borrow. So but those APRs fluctuate. So, if you're in a looping strategy and you have to unwind that manually. So you have to go in there, you have to pay back the first borrow, and then, after you pay that first borrow, then that unlocks that lend that you did. Then you can, withdraw that, so you can go and
Mhm.
you can pay off the previous one, the previous borrow, so that you can, unwind that, and you have to go through and manually do that. So it sounds like with this atomic execution that it will automate that process potentially and actually unwind your
Mm.
positions. So that's
Oh,
interesting. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that.
okay. Yeah, because that takes time, and if it can save you time and probably get the best fees too, more
Well, I mean,
efficiency.
yeah, I mean, it's potentially. I mean, it really depends on how it's built,
Hmm.
and how it, whenever it maps out, how it moves the tokens, and if it has to do swaps or if it has to bridge, and all that stuff that BFAT does.
Yeah.
All those automated things that BFAT does. Um, this will potentially could optimize and bundle. Because that's one of the things that BFAT does is it will actually bundle transactions. So if there's like a bunch of people using BFAT and they're all doing a certain action, it can actually bundle it all into one one movement basically, to where it cuts down on fees.
Ah, yeah. Smart.
So anyway,
Did you see this Medici? Um,
I did not.
so I guess this is their or Atelier is Dialectic's in-house software development company, and
Mhm.
they develop the tooling and software to support Dialectic SPs. They focus on they also focuses on quantitative research and thought leadership, regularly publishing research posts and articles on various technical and crypto economic topics. Medici is their automated analytics and compounding tools. Oh no, it's their cutting edge yield farming automation system. Sorry. It greatly improves efficiency and security of our yield activities. All positions deployed through Medici benefit from real time 24/7 security coverage and monitoring by both our internal systems and third party alert providers. Combines off chain automation with on chain execution, giving us the highest benefits of security and agility. And it's audited by Consensus Diligence. So, looks like they have
Is
some.
that the same consensus that freaking Swift just partnered with?
Yeah, Consensus, they built MetaMask and Linea Network
Yeah, no,
blockchain.
but
Mm-hmm.
that's who freaking Swift just partnered with, was
Yep.
Consensus, because Linea and
Mm-hmm.
Chainlink.
So it looks like their security arm of it, I guess. Um,
Okay,
yeah. So that's pretty cool. Cross chain strategies, auto compounding, um, defensive MEV, which monitors for basically bots trying to. It's like miner extracting value, or where bots come in and try and front run transactions and basically steal the value of the transaction from the network. Um, oh, and this is on ETH mainnet, so just so everyone is aware. Um, so make sure if you are gonna deposit in some of these vaults to check
yeah,
the gas fees, and it's pretty low right now. So
they can sneak up on you though.
it
Um,
can.
so again, it looks like they're also, it looks like they're partnering with Consensus. They're partnering with um, whatever that was that you just had pulled up, that the AI or whatever. Oh, the
Oh, I think
dialectic.
yeah,
So
I think
they're
they're the
partnered with
ones
dialectic. Looks like they're
that
partnered with
built it.
Wormhole. And have you looked into
Oh, they have
this?
wormhole.
Yeah,
I
Makina
didn't
and
know that.
Wormhole building cross-chain tokenized strategies. So there's an article in here on that. We can cover that here in a minute, and then there's also an
Okay.
article on Makina pre-launch. Um, and then there's the case for moving early, tickets and points versus public ICO. So that sounds very airdropish.
Mm-hmm.
Have you dived into that yet?
No, I've actually deposited in one of the vaults yesterday. As soon as I saw that, I was looking at it and I just threw 150 bucks in. So, because I
Well,
saw
here.
that it was,
Oh, go ahead.
I saw that it was going to contribute to the airdrop. But we can jump into that if you want.
I mean, I can read some of it here.
Or-
So waiting for a public sale feels safe. If all right, so it looks like they're using something called tickets. So a ticket
Mhm.
is a provable right that allows you to buy up to a personal allowance during the Makina priority token sale window. So it sounds like that tickets are going to be kind of like an option. So before maybe potentially before it goes live, there's going to be a pre-sale window that people that earn these tickets are able to buy before the ICO. And it says the valuation will be the same as the Makina strategic round. So the strategic round is usually the price that they're offering it to investors, or are somewhere close to that. It's definitely before the token goes live and you start seeing all that freaking jumping and dumping and things like that.
Mhm.
By simply depositing into any of the machines like you did during the pre-launch campaign, you earn base yield on your deposits and tickets. Tickets are like options. They are not giveaways. Tickets
Mhm.
equal airdrop. A
They don't
ticket.
equal.
What's that?
It's not equal.
Oh, not
It's
equal.
got the slash through. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. A ticket does not grant free tokens. It gives you a purchase allowance you may choose to exercise during the sale window under posted terms investing.
Mhm.
Points and why they exist. Why not just wait for the ICO? The advantage is earned before the public ICO window opens. Ticket holders enter with a personal cap and buy calmly inside the sale period. If you wait, the worst case is that the entire allocation is gobbled up with tickets. Second worst case is you compete for the remainder with everyone who already secured rights. Um, the ticket advantage includes priority ICO access, seed round valuation access at a $35 million fully diluted value, clear vesting terms posted in advance, and a zero obligation. You can hold the right and choose not to exercise it. So week one is a 1.6x boost. So time equals yield. There's a clear edge to moving early. The program includes a time weighted boost that stacks with other rewards. The earlier you deposit, the bigger your multiplier. Week one, what week are we in right now? Do you know?
It's week one. It just started yesterday.
Okay. So week one right now is 1.6x boost. Calm down, freaking sack nasty.
Yeah, I know.
Week Week two, 1.3x boost. Week three, 1.1x boost. And week four is a 1x boost. Boost will stack with optional extras like bridging to ink. So that makes me think that they're somehow potentially working with Kraken or depositing machine tokens into Curve. So it sounds like they're loosely at least connected to Curve and connected to Kraken, which potentially after the token launch could mean a listing on Kraken potentially. I'm total guessing here.
Mhm.
What else we got? What
The
else we
key
got?
dates
Yeah, go ahead.
right here. End of September. Looks like, yeah. So end of September is just right now. Pre-launch machines open. So this is season 0 and lasts for 4 weeks. And this is your time to accumulate tickets and points. End of October, machine launch, season 1 begins. No more ticket accumulation, but you keep receiving points. And now you're earning yield generated by professionals. November, the priority ICO, or initial coin offering, opens for ticket holders. And December, NFT drop snapshot, and season 2 begins. So more on the NFT drop in a subsequent post. So I don't know if I've seen anything on that one, but um, so earn tickets, yeah, deposit eligible machines, keep
Morpho.
custody. Yeah, I see Morpho. You hold Makina tokens while participating. You also earn base yield via Morpho as designed for the machine.
Yeah,
And
on their X, it says Makina with Morpho. Makina's pre-launch machines will exclusively
ooh,
receive yield from Morpho vaults, in addition to points for the Mac drop and tickets access to Makina's upcoming ICO. Nice. So
hmm,
that so that's Morpho is really starting to become quite the cross-chain hub. I mean, you got
right?
Plume. Plume is using it. Now you got Makina that's using it. I've seen, obviously Coinbase is using it for their Bitcoin loans.
Hmm,
There's a lot of stuff going on with Morpho, and the price really hasn't moved a whole lot. I mean, it potentially is a good buy. I mean, let me actually take a look at that before I.
I mean, for a project that's only been out for a year, right? They launched about a year ago.
Pretty
Um,
much.
yeah, they've been cooking, man. They've been really cooking.
Let me take a look at Morpho real quick.
And let me see.
So
Okay,
Morpho's at
so
$1.69. So yeah, no, I mean it's 24.
mm,
So yeah, coming up here in a couple of months, it will be a year, and it's
mhm,
still. I mean, here on Coin Market Cap, it pretty much launched at about 97 cents, and we're at about a buck 60 right now, or buck 69. So with
shit.
everything that it has going on, and it's sitting at 114 by market cap, and the what is actually, you know what? Let me go to DeFi Llama and let's take a
Le
look at
Yama.
the Llama. And I'll actually throw this up on the screen. Let me pop over. Actually, let me pull it up first before I Morpho. There we go. Let's show my screen. All right. So as you can see, this is Morpho. So you can see back here, when it launched, um, you just see like the build of TVL. So I mean, they came up to about almost 9 billion in TVL. 8.5 billion. Been a little bit of a pullback, but let's pull up the price and let's pull up the volume and take a look. So the token price, you can see there's quite the gap between the token price and the TVL. The volume, it started out super strong, petered off, and then since, let's actually scroll, and it's been pretty consistent since around July, like mid July.
Hmm. Oh,
So
nice. Yeah.
fees, they're earning about 190 million in fees. They haven't been going for a full year yet, so they don't have any annualized revenue. Incentives annualized 19 million. Market cap 560 million. Fully diluted value 1.7 billion. And 24-hour volume 17 million. $3.85 billion borrowed. All right. So yeah, I mean it's just like, I mean, Morpho is, I there's some projects that I really feel like that as I'm looking at all these projects and the more projects we look at, you start seeing, kind of like this web of that's being built. So, like boom, and you have, this project that we're talking about, Makina. You got, base, you got Morpho, you got Mamo, and it's all these different Uniswap and just all these different protocols. And the more that we cover these different projects, you start to see these lines of convergence. Like the
Mm-hmm.
kind of like nexus, like a nexus or a node where you you keep seeing a repeating pattern. And I keep seeing Morpho being part of almost everything.
Hmm.
The vaults being utilized. The same with Moonwell. Where it's
Mm-hmm.
how Mamo uses it. It seems like for almost like nests of liquidity. There's certain
Hmm.
protocols that are becoming the go-to as the nests of liquidity.
Huck said neo banking. It's
Yeah.
like no, that's and there's so many different avenues of DeFi too, all these different vaults and protocols and different flavors, and not one protocol or project can offer everything. So you want to see this cross blend and on these networks too, it's and some are more towards base specific, but I don't know, it is kind of interesting to see all this stuff being this growth happening.
Mm.
Um,
Well, and to me, it's given me a lot more confidence in some of the choices that I've made to invest in.
mhm.
Because the way that I invest, I mean, and there's money to be made this way. So, I'm not bashing it, but people that chase narratives and people that chase social media, like hype, whatever the hot, narrative is at the moment. And don't get me wrong, that there is definitely money to be made there. If you can get in, and kind of ride, the pumps, get in like,
Mhm.
before everybody else does, buy low, let everybody hype it up. And, as it's being hyped up and the price is going up, you're laddering out. And then, just, be, have like a small moon bag or something, but take your liquidity and, go and, do something else with it. If you can have that discipline, then, there's money to be made there. Me personally, I really enjoy the slower pace of researching these projects, and the fundamentals and finding, these little Easter eggs of, how these projects are working together and, which ones are being almost built on or utilized, like in this case, how Morpho is being used for liquidity and for its vaults. The more people that are doing that, then the more it legitimizes, the Morpho platform. The more people that are relying on the platform, potentially, it's not a guarantee, but potentially, the more stable the the project is going to be. Not just token price, but not be as prone to rug pulls and things like that. Because if you have BlackRock, for instance, if they're using a project to tokenize their Biddle fund, chances are it's not going to get rugged. Not in the traditional sense, like some 15-year-old kid in his mom's basement, that's flipping people off and dumping the token. You're not going
Yeah.
to have that type of thing going on because it's just there's as this regulation is getting drafted and put into place, and these laws, and you have these legitimate companies, multi trillion dollar or multi-billion dollar companies that are they're not going to put their assets under management into some fly by night. They're going to be there's going to be multiple meetings, with deep discussions. There might be some sipping of wine, maybe a little footsie under the desk, a little soft music. But
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot that lawyers are going to be involved, a lot of paperwork. They're going to make sure that their bases are covered. I guess that's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to, man. Your money, that much money is involved. You
Well, I mean, it's their fiduciary responsibility.
Yep.
Legally, if with managing other people's liquidity, is they have to do their due diligence. If they're found to be negligent, I'm not an expert on it, but I know there's consequences to it. They can have licenses pulled and lawsuits filed and all kinds of different.
Just ask our
Well,
friend
I mean,
SBF from
exactly,
FTX.
exactly.
Or what's his
Yeah,
name from Celsius? Fuck. I'm blanking on his
I
name, but
I forget. That
Alex
was
Mashinsky.
no,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, should we bring Miles on stage and see what he can tell us about Makina?
Yeah. Let's see what he's got. Let's see if we
All
can pull
right.
something for us.
Hold on one sec. Let me mute my mic. Oh, didn't get to it in time. All right.
Mute yourself. Mute
Yeah.
the mic.
Yes, I'll mute the mic. All right, Miles. Let's see.
Hey there, hope you're having a good Tuesday.
You can hear him?
Yep.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Oh, I know you can
Just
hear
checking.
yourself, Miles. So, Miles, we're live on the show. Obviously with Jeff and the crew. So, you mind telling everybody good evening?
Right, gotcha. Oh, absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Good to be here. Hope you're all having a solid Tuesday evening.
Hey, Miles, could you do me a quick favor? Look online, and there is a new project that we're talking about. It's called Makina Finance. There's no token, but I was hoping that maybe you can find some information on it. It's a DeFi play, and the website is Makina, and that's spelled Mike Alpha Kilo India November Alpha dot finance. Can you take a look at that website and dig into it and see what you can dig up, kind of using our usual criteria, digging into the team, digging into the tokenomics, what it is that they're, the use cases and the pain points that they're trying to address and, and fix. But let's see what you can find.
Okay, Makina Finance, Mike Alpha Kilo, India November Alpha, Alpha.finance, and choose DeFi play, no token yet. Sounds good. Let me dive in and do some digging. Give me just a sec to poke around and see what I can find on the team, use cases, the whole deal. It's kind of interesting when they don't have a token out yet, Gives you a little more room to assess things before the hype really kicks in. All right, so Makina Finance. Looks like they're positioning themselves as a decentralized asset management platform focused on simplifying strategies for yield optimization. They're aiming to make complex DeFi strategies accessible to a broader audience, which is a pretty common goal these days. The team is a little opaque, honestly. They're pseudonymous, going by handles like Nova and Zen. They do have a LinkedIn for Nova, which links to some experience in traditional finance, but it's not super detailed. It's kind of the standard Web3 vibe, strong on technical skills, a little light on verifiable identities. No tokenomics yet, obviously, which makes it hard to say anything concrete. They talk about a future governance token, but no specifics on distribution or utility. They're building on Arbitrum, which is a plus in my book, lower fees, and generally pretty solid ecosystem. The pain point they're trying to address is essentially the complexity of yield farming. They're automating strategies, rebalancing portfolios, and trying to maximize returns without requiring users to be DeFi experts. It's kind of like a robo advisor for DeFi.
So it says that they have collective exposure to 30 plus DeFi protocols. Can you find anything on which protocols that they're leveraging?
Okay, digging into that. All right, so they're listing out quite a few: Aave, Compound, Yearn, Balancer, Convex, Curve, pretty much the usual suspects for yield farming.
All right.
They're also integrating with some of the newer players like Pendle for yield tokenization. And interestingly, they mentioned Beefy Finance as a source for auto compounding strategies.
Hmm.
They've got exposure to some lending protocols beyond the big ones like Maple Finance, which is kind of interesting, but also carries a bit more risk. They're also incorporating some stablecoin strategies utilizing Iron Bank. So pretty broad coverage across the DeFi landscape.
Are they, for the
It isn't a
most
super.
part, are they leveraging just vaults, or are they leveraging liquidity pools and potentially borrow and lend strategies?
Good question. Seems to be a mix, but leaning heavily towards vaults and yield aggregators. They're definitely utilizing Yearn style vaults to automate yield farming strategies. They also mentioned utilizing liquidity pools, specifically Uniswap v3 and Balancer, but emphasizing that they actively manage impermanent loss risk through their rebalancing algorithms. And yeah, they do have borrow lend strategies in place, largely through Aave and Compound, but those seem to be used more strategically for leverage and capital efficiency rather than being their core focus. It's not just blindly throwing liquidity and everything. They're trying to manage the risk profile, at least according to their documentation. It's kind of blend though. Vaults for the passive yield, LPs for potential boosts, and borrow lend for added oomph. Does that make sense?
It does. So I want to test out something on you real quick, because I mean, we're always asking you about these projects, and I want you to remember this. I want to start kind of grading these projects on a scale of 1 to 10. Off of the things that we usually ask you, like, is the team doxed, and looking at the tokenomics, things like that. If just right off the cuff, if you were to give this project a score, just an overall score of, um, oh, just, just
Okay.
give it a score between 1 and 10, on 10 being the best, one being the worst.
All right. Challenge accepted. Okay. So for Makina Finance, let's see. Team docs? No. Tokenomics defined? No. Use case clear? Relatively. Underlying protocol solid? Yes. Risk management strategy explained? Somewhat. Overall, I'd give Makina Finance a 6 out of 10.
All right.
It's not a slam dunk. It's
Mhm.
got potential, but the lack of team transparency and defined tokenomics are red flags.
No,
It's a
that
decent starting point.
I appreciate that, Miles. That's actually very logical. So thank you very much.
Good. Glad I could help. Just trying to be useful.
All
It's
right.
kind of fun to actually put
Well, you have a good
a
night,
number on
Miles.
things. You too. And hey, if anything else comes up, don't hesitate to ask.
All
Enjoy the
right.
rest of your evening.
You too.
Cool.
Yeah, the team thing is it's hard to find anything on it.
Yeah, and I know they don't have a token out yet, but they could. I'm sure they at least have some idea what the tokenomics are going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if it's 2 or 3 months out, you should have some idea, or at least the amount of
So
tokens. But
let's start doing this every episode. So if with what we've looked at with this project, from a 1 to 10, what would you grade this?
I mean, yeah, at least between a 6 and a 7, just because of the team is a big thing, and it I haven't really seen much hooting and hollering about this project, and also their social media, their
Hooten
Twitter
and
has like there's like less than 5,000 followers on it, so it doesn't have a big following. And I just got in their Discord earlier, and the Discord is only for they have Twitter activity. Actually, I'll pull it up right here. They have the welcome official links. Oh, I'm not transitioned over. Let me pop that. So their Discord, they have the welcome, and it looks like this was started in May, so it's fairly new. There's only announcements, server rules, links, Twitter activity, and this is where you can submit tickets if you have issues on the platform. Their their Telegram is where you can go to have their I guess their community engagement. Let me see if I have my Telegram up here. Yeah, right here. I joined this earlier. So Makina, they have their general chat where you can chat with the community, but that's an ICO point, social feed announcement. So their Telegram's really where the social activity happens. And but yeah, their Twitter doesn't have a lot of stuff on it. As far well, I don't mean a lot of stuff. It just has not as many followers,
Yeah.
and that's a little strange, at least right now. But I mean, they've done presentations. I was looking at the dialectic group, their Twitter page, and it looks like they had some, at least their CEOs doxed, and you can find him right here on Twitter. Cuckoo Leblazin is the guy's name. Oh, looks like my thing is frozen. Yeah, and it's still so early. So, but they have 3 million in funding. Um, but
Yeah.
I
I mean,
think Miles had a good assessment of it.
I think so as well. For me, what was it you said, 7?
Between a 6 and a 7.
Uh, I mean, I would say for me, probably about a 7. I mean, the thing that, maybe a little more. The thing that, I like about it is, obviously I'm into DeFi, and I would love to see something like this to where it automates, a lot of the complex strategies that, I'm trying to learn and that, that I want to do, and, things like that. Um, I think it's healthy for the ecosystem, if a lot of the stuff is automated, because, being automated, I feel like that it's going to create, kind of a healthier flow of liquidity. Um, and the fact that it's something that Miles didn't mention is, a lot of these partnerships, where they're working with Wormhole, and they're working with Morpho, and they're working with Dielectric, and they're closely working with a lot of these organizations that have, a very good reputation, and, docs teams, and, all those sorts of things. So um, that gives me a bit more confidence. But aside from that, if they didn't have, those connections, I would be very concerned, just because of the lack of a docs team, and, all the stuff that, that both you and Miles, detailed.
True. Yeah. Those partnerships or collaborations are definitely a good sign because at least they're using reputable and credible um, protocols and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Um. So I'm just kind of going through their Twitter real quick. We have a little bit of time left. When you participate in the pre-launch acquiring machine tokens, you'll get yield from Stakehouse USDC by Stakehouse Fi, Mev Capital Wrapped ETH, Gauntlet Wrapped Bitcoin Core. So a lot of these are names that I've seen on a lot of the protocols on Plume as well. I don't see
oh,
anything that directly links them, but that's the thing, is a lot of these things that are on Plume aren't just on Plume. Obviously, like, a lot of the stuff, from Morpho, it's on Morpho, on Base Network. It's, obviously a part of this, and, there's, because of interoperability, cross chain interoperability, a lot of these things can, exist on multiple chains. I mean, that's kind of why Swift is wanting to use Chainlink for interoperability, is so that, in my opinion, I haven't done a huge deep dive into it, but right off the top of my head, just understanding how the technology works, is that gives access to multi-chain liquidity. So stable coins on, on ETH, Solana, just all these different networks, all that liquidity that's in tokenized assets and, whatever. When they're trying to send cross border liquidity, and they need to have deep liquidity to, be able to facilitate those transfers, kind of like how liquidity pools work, where, if you're swapping between two assets, there needs to be a liquidity pool. Same
Yep.
thing, with Chainlink, potentially they could tap in to endless liquidity. Anything that's on chain, liquidity wise, they could use to be that liquidity pool. Like, so if somebody's swapping, USDC for USDT, or USDC for dollars, or once they start tokenizing, fiat currencies like the Mexican peso for the Korean won. There needs to be liquidity between those, and that's, kind of what Ripple was trying to do. Is they were going to be that liquidity layer, for those cross border remittances. But with what Swift's doing, there would really be no need to, basically the whole premise of XRP was it needed to be a high valuation so that the liquidity was there for, to be the, the liquidity pool basically. But if Swift is using Chainlink to access the existing liquidity that's in USDC, that's in USDT, that's in USDE, all these different stable coins that are backed, one to one with US dollars and, in US dollar equivalents, then there's no need for, an issued token that, that where they have to build liquidity. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the liquidity pools, because if you deposit in one of these vaults, so it looks like the Bitcoin vault is the only one that is open right now. Because look at this, total value locked. This literally launched yesterday.
It's
60.5
already
million.
in
You're what?
liquidity law.
Oh, the TVL? Yeah.
Yeah,
In one day. So
that's
the
that's
USD
pretty
pool,
freaking impressive.
the ETH pool, they're full. I got in the ETH pool. I deposited 150 bucks.
Well, dude,
So
that's a pretty good freaking yield for ETH.
yeah, yeah. I was like, well, I could do the USD, but I figure I'll hold the ETH. I'll hold the ETH, because I think if ETH starts pumping, there's some TA guys who were saying that they're feeling the 5K ETH when shit starts getting hot and heavy. So I was like, oh, I'll put 150 bucks in and just hold that and earn a little bit. And plus, I'm earning the points. But if you want to get involved, so right here we'll buy and earn in the Bitcoin vault. That's, I guess, okay. There we go. So you're technically going to swap your ETH for this DBT, or this dialectic Bitcoin. And it's on Ethereum network, so you will need to make sure you have enough ETH on there, but you'll swap Ethereum, or I think you can swap any other token for it, but it's on ETH mainnet. And right here, you would swap for D Bitcoin, the dialectic Bitcoin, and it'll show you down here what the network cost is. Right now, it's like $5 for gas, and it will take a little bit of time. I think it took 10 minutes or so for it to show up in my wallet, and you'll earn between 3 and 5%. And let me show you. So this is the portfolio that I have in my wallet, 0.0355 ETH that I deposited. And it shows me the yield that I'll earn and the tickets and points per week. And it shows your transactions down here. And you see it's slowly ticking up. They did say in the Telegram that there is an issue right now with the point accumulation, because yesterday it was supposedly a lot more, but I think there's some issues with that in the yield. So it's a lot lower than what it should be. So the team is working on fixing that. And they do have their liquidity pools. I need to find out where that is because I saw it in here somewhere. Oh, yeah, right here in the points section. So you have the different vaults, right? DUSD, DETH, and DBIT. And hold the token, right? You get a 1x boost on each one. But on Curve, when you supply liquidity into the DUSD, USDC pool, DETH, wrapped ETH pool, and DBIT, wrapped Bitcoin pool, you get a 1.5x. So you can come here and it'll take you to Curve and you can deposit these assets into the liquidity pool and earn extra. I didn't do that because I looked at it yesterday and it couldn't find my asset in the wallet. So I think it needed some time to kind of check
Think about.
everything. Yeah. So right here it gives you a little warning about DeFi and stuff. Make sure you're using the right links. But I haven't seen this since yesterday, so let's check this out. Because sometimes when stuff like this just launches, even Rabby will kind of flag it as suspicious token since it's very new and doesn't have a lot of activity. And it looks like Curve is still having issues getting my wallet balance. So I can't deposit anything in here at the moment, but this is the liquidity pool. And on Curve, and where's the token pool contract right here. Base VAPY and how much is in here. So it's 20 million in USD that's deposited. So quite a pretty good amount. Shows the chart, but season progress. So week 1, yeah, the 1.6x boost. It shows your season progress right here, week 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it gives the breakdown and how many points people have. So yeah, if you want to get involved, the only vault available right now is the Bitcoin one. So you have to just come here and swap your ETH for the D Bitcoin and hodl on for the points.
All right.
So hopefully we'll get a nice little allocation.
Hopefully. Well, that's the hour, man.
God damn, that's quick.
Yeah, time flies when you're slinging alpha.
You
So
get the alpha. You get the alpha.
yeah. This is like Oprah. They check under your seat. There's some alpha.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. Like any closing thoughts before we close this out?
Man, I just want to thank the community and people that are sharing this stuff with us because this is a community shared project that we got the alpha from, and we wanted to provide a place where people can come and all learn together, and even they're teaching us some stuff. So it takes a tribe to lift each other up, and and you bringing on other DeFi experts are just so invaluable. And definitely check out the other shows, the DeFi masterminds with Mike and David and Jake, because they're dropping so much more alpha than here than these shows.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
incredible. I'm tuned in, sucking all that knowledge up, man, and I'm
Well, I
grateful
mean,
for it.
yeah, and I mean, and kind of my closing thoughts is, I mean, anybody that watches the channel, they know what we're building here, but between the blockchain report, your separate channel, where you can get just pure airdrops. You get some airdrop alpha here when we talk about these projects. If they have one. you know these two shows on Monday and Tuesday are basically just deep dives. We're just finding cool information, cool alpha, and dropping it out there for you all. you know a lot of times they're very early projects, so they haven't been hyped, they haven't been pumped. A lot of them you can get in very early. Do your own research kind of thing. But we have, of course, like you said, the Wednesday and Friday shows where it's just hardcore DeFi, and it's super advanced strategies like looping and things like that, to where you can take your earning on your bags to the next level. I mean, there's nothing better than earning free crypto, using your crypto, where you don't have to spend any of your own money to grow your bags. Or like David, actually live off your DeFi earnings and live quite well. And then of course the Thursday show, where we don't just try to teach you how to earn and create. That show, we have an estate lawyer, my brother Taylor, who's a practicing attorney, that does wills and trusts and small business formation and stuff like that. And he's always dropping the alpha on ways that you can structure your affairs to where you can mitigate taxes and protect yourself against lawsuits, and basically creating S corps and LLCs and things like that, to where basically you're an employee of your company and you get paid a salary, as opposed to cashing out and having to pay capital gains. Just there's so much so much nuance to it. I won't get into it, and I'm not a legal professional. But and then his business partner, TradFi Jeff, for decades he's operated in TradFi, and so they're just we're trying to bring any subject matter expert that we can find that we feel is going to bring value to you all out there. We're just gathering them up and giving them a platform. So it's that's pretty much what we're about. Is we just want to be a legitimate place to where you guys get no BS, no hype. We're not shilling anything. We're not getting paid by anybody to say what it is what we're saying. Just a channel with integrity, because there's very few of them out there. I mean, anybody that's been in crypto for more than 5 minutes, you can. Most channels are going to say whatever
Stick
they.
without it.
Yeah, they're going to say whatever they have to say to get views. The great thing about this, and the fact that we're not monetized and we're not beholden to anybody, is if we get views, awesome. If we don't, I have a great time doing these shows. So
Mm-hmm.
we're under no obligation to turn a profit. We don't need to keep the lights on when we don't have to pay salaries, and it's this for us is a labor of love. So the only thing that we ask, and I say all this just to get to, all we ask from all of you out there for this free information that we put out is please, if you enjoyed it, hit the like button, follow us, start watching the channel, and share it. Share it out. It's all it's free for you to do that. It's a little movement of the mouse. It's a small gesture, just for the work that we put in here. But that's all I got, brother.
Yeah, and I just Connor Mamiya, yeah, DeFi Masterminds. I just said check the YouTube channel main page, and there's categories of videos with all this stuff, money talks, the DeFi master classes, and all
I'll show
that.
you. I'll show you real quick.
Yeah, just so y'all know where to go. And Mike did a great job putting the time and day up there so everyone can see and keep it bookmarked.
Yes. Well,
I know
I wanted
sometimes
to.
YouTube doesn't do the alerts really well, but
All right. So as you can see here, this is our channel. If you scroll down, you got the past live streams, you got the DeFi Academy. If you want the just the bare bones basics of getting into DeFi and just kind of want to start understanding what some of the terminology is and things like that. Um, you got the DeFi Masterclass, Wednesday and Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. and this is Jake Call and David and me, and that's all we do is talk DeFi. It's nothing but DeFi. David has started talking about how he doesn't use traditional banks anymore. He actually uses EtherFi, and got issued a card.
Mhm.
And he, for the most part, he makes his entire living off of DeFi investing, and he pays all of his bills. Does everything through EtherFi. So he doesn't
Wow.
use a traditional bank at all. And then, of course, Money Talks is the show with Taylor and Jeff, the estate lawyer and the traditional finance, licensed financial advisor. And then every once in a while, Jeff throws some airdrop hunting stuff down here.
Mhm.
And then, of course, here's the DeFi crypto and airdrops Mondays and Tuesdays, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But that is about
Other
it.
channels.
What's
Um,
that?
yeah, Connor also said he didn't know if Jake and them had channels too. And yeah,
Yeah, right
we
here.
shot that out at the beginning. Yep,
Right
right
here.
there.
You got the Discover Crypto. This is Jeff, the blockchain report. This is where he's dedicated to airdrops. Blockchain Basement is our boy Druth over there. Really entertaining. Highly suggest watching it. And then here's Jake Call. This is his uh, DeFi channel where he talks DeFi as well. And then DeFi University, David just started this channel. So if you can go over there and give him a follow, it would definitely help him out. And then we got BitLab Academy with Kelly over at Discover Crypto, and he does technical analysis and day trading, scalp trading, things like that. So that's all I got, brother.
Yep.
Let's
Happy Taco
see.
Tuesday. Hope y'all enjoy.
Awesome. Mag 4725. Awesome. Great to see. All right. Well, until next time, Veteran Crypto out.
Later.